Hey everyone, Corin Clement here, Marketing Director for the Cooksey branch here at Mid-America Mortgage. Hope you are having a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what time you may be tuning into this video, and thank you for joining myself today. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how to create a specifically defined target audience depending on the campaign and content for your business page, and also explaining just the overall importance of why it really is so necessary that you do take the time to really consider who you're trying to reach and how you're going to set up your campaign to do it. So as you can see, I'm logged on here on my Facebook profile. If I were wanting to start a new ad, what I'm going to do is under the Explore tab on the newsfeed, I'm going to click this button that says Ads Manager. So I've clicked it. I'm going to let it load. Now I was working on an existing campaign, so it may ask if I would still like to continue to work on that. No? Okay, great. Up here there's a button that says Create Ad. We're going to click that. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to start over because that was just an example when I was working for someone else. So once you click Create Ad, it'll give you several options on what the overall goal of your ad is. Now, being a real estate agent and helping a lot, or have helped a lot of real estate agents create their advertisements, we always want to go with lead generation. That's just the safest bet in terms of the default ad that Facebook is going to load for us. On our campaign name, I'm going to title this First Time Homeowner Campaign in Plano, because I'm going to use first-time homeowners is my example. Now, I manage several different business pages for several businesses, of course, as well as my own for my real estate career, and obviously here at the Cooksey branch itself. So, under my business page selection, I am going to select one of the pages that I manage, which is First-Time Homes in North Dallas. I am going to say just listed homes in Plano, Texas for first-time home buyers. And that's what we're going to go with. Okay. Now, in terms of creating our audience, this is really half the battle in creating an efficient and effective campaign. Okay, so since we're wanting to target buyers in Plano and generate leads that way and generate traffic to my website, or your website rather, that way, then this is how it essentially would work if I were to set up an ad. So obviously when it comes to the location, we're going to focus on Plano. So we're going to pop that in there. And we actually don't want to hit everyone in this location. Why? Because it's going to target everyone that has basically, visiting that area, or they're currently checked in somewhere in Plano, and we don't want to do that. We want to focus on people who live in Plano, or say that they live within this 25-mile radius on their Facebook profile. Why? Because we have a lot of renters in the area and people looking to just move in general. So now that we've selected Plano and we've got our 25-mile radius, that's great because that still gives me a lot of people to reach out to in the North Dallas area. And our age range, because we're targeting first-time home buyers, I'm going to select between 25 and let's do 37. That's a pretty safe age range for first-time home buyers. Of course, gender, all, it's not going to matter on this, with real estate, unless you're maybe trying to target divorcees and what have you with specific campaigns. But for this sake, we're just going to leave it at all. For languages, I'm going to just simply put in English. Now, if I were bilingual, trilingual, spoke multiple languages, I would, obviously enter different languages. So if you are bilingual or speak more than one language, I would definitely encourage entering all your languages in there to more narrowly define your audience. But unfortunately, I do not. So now this is where the detailed targeting and the meat and potatoes of our campaign is really going to come into play. Okay, so we are going to start with demographics because they are huge. Now, when it comes to first-time home buyers, a lot of them have are college grads or have a college education. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And basically, you're just going to go down and select several different demographic choices that would apply to your target audience, right? So if I'm still going to work with, or still promote to first-time home buyers for this example, we're going to go to financial next. We're going to go to income. We're going to select 40. And also, we're going to select 50 to 75. Why? Because, these are, if you're familiar with working with first-time home buyers, between 40 and 50, and really not even up to 75 is pretty much the average salary rate or annual income for most of the first-time home buyers out there. So that's definitely a range that we want to focus on. Anything above that, you're not really looking at a first-time home, which I would consider somewhere along the lines of 250 or under. Okay, so I've got those entered in there, and then we're just going to keep on going down the line. Let's go back to demographics. We're going to go to home. We're going to go to home ownership. We're definitely going to click first-time home buyer. Now, I'm actually recording this from my Mac, and on my Windows, on my PC, which I guess has the one up over Mac, whenever I'm still on a demographic and I've selected something, it does not click off of it. I can click multiple checkboxes at one time, but it is what it is. So that's a little frustrating. You'll have to bear with me on that. And yeah, we're just going to keep on going down the list. Interest doesn't really have anything that I'm all too, focused on. Family and relationships. There's nothing really in there too much. That's not really going to generate much success or make much of a difference in terms of yielding reach and impression with this type of advertisement, since it is focused on real estate. However, one thing that is important is behaviors. Okay, so we're going to go down here and go to residential profiles, likely to move. Okay. Again, you'll just have to bear with me here. And recent mortgage borrower. Even though a lot of people out there aren't going to, be approved just yet. Some of them may be, but can't hurt to go ahead and include it. And we're just going to keep on going. So now we're going to go to relationship. We're going to go to relationship status. We're going to go to engage, because of a lot of engaged couples are obviously home shopping. Married couples, obviously. Parents. Parents is huge. We're going to do all parents. We're going to do new parents with obviously newborn children between 0 and a year as far as age. And then also we're going to do between 3 and 5 years. These two are really safe when it comes to targeting parents, because obviously those with newborns or kids that are coming of age are going to be looking for extra space. So they're going to be looking at buying houses. Okay. Now, when it comes to work, as far as employers, industries, job titles, and all that stuff, for this type of campaign, it's not as necessarily important You know, of course, teachers are obviously great when it comes to, you know, first-time home buyers, uh, coaches, you know, entry-level positions across various fields, but I'm not really going to take the time to do that. Now, let's say I had like a specific or specific content that was catered toward teachers, like teacher down payment assistance, then yes, then I would absolutely, you know, go in here and be more specific off of, you know, that type of promotional piece. But because we're not doing that, then I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Now, we obviously want to check single-family homes for people looking at single-family homes. And people that are currently in apartments, right? Our renters. Awesome. So we've got a pretty defined audience here, right? And it will be calculating our size. Okay. So we've got a potential reach of about 310,000 people. And it seems like a lot, and it is, but this is also, again, you know, targeted to Plano. And it says we have an estimated reach of about 420 to 1,200 people a day out of 240,000. Okay, now that's with all these inclusions. Okay, now one other thing that I like to do is actually develop exclusions. This is going to allow us to even more specifically define our audience. Financial, income. I don't want people over 75,000. I don't want people over the 99,000 mark, and so on. Why? Because those people have got enough money and they're probably not going to be buying a house in the first-time home buyer range. So I'm definitely going to exclude them. So you can get a feel of basically how this works. So, like I said, knowing is half the battle. Knowing how to identify your target is really the meat and potatoes of running an efficient campaign. And here. I wish I could just check them all at one time. This would make this go by so much faster, but again, it's not letting me. And one more. Over 500,000. Perfect. Now you can see it's gone down even more. This is actually more of a number that I am trying to identify with, right? The population of Plano, I think the census measured was a little over 286,000, which of course in this real estate market has gone up, I'm sure, way more since then. Now that we're closer towards, you know, the beginning of 2018 and the end of this year. So that's not bad. That's actually more of a specific number that I want. I don't want to be on this end of the spectrum at all. If I can be in the middle or somewhere even under that, then that's fine by me. My estimated daily reach right now is at 410 to 1,100 people. Okay, and like I said, that's totally fine. I would rather reach that number of people per day than thousands of people per day, because now I have a post that I know is going to be more identifiable with the actual types of people that I am trying to convert into appointments and convert into leads. Okay, so what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about budgeting. Now, I definitely do not recommend spending 20 bucks a day or every single day for a week when it comes to your Facebook budgets. Most major companies that actually handle the we go, that would handle marketing and promoting your content usually run at about $5 a day. I mean, you can lean towards $7 and $10 to be more effective and to increase your overall reach and to create, and and to increase the effectiveness of your cost per clicks. But $5 a day is fine. Now, I would like to set a start and end date. Right now it's set at 30 days. I recommend running your ads for at least 7 days, okay? And doing so at least bi-weekly or every other week. There's no reason to have a continuous run ad for 30 days straight unless you are just killing it and you want to dump more money into Facebook and whatnot, and move out of the Zillow market and that type of lead gen. Then maybe I would understand. But I'm telling you right now, this type of stuff yields results. And so I'm going to go ahead and just stick with today's date. Oops, apologies. Boom, 7 days. You'll spend no more than $35.21, okay? But that's pretty much how you would get ready to define a specific audience before you move forward with the continuance of actually placing your ad and linking in a landing page and a call to action button, which I will get to that in another video. But I don't like to information overload whenever I do any of my tutorials because I don't want you walking away saying, oh my gosh, that was a lot of information, it was great, but now what do I do with it? So when it comes to actually placing the ad and linking in a landing page to actually convert people from the content, I will have another video on that. But for now, I just wanted to demo, talk about, and showcase how to selectively define a targeted audience when you are running a campaign and why it is so important and how it makes such a huge difference in terms of the quality versus the quantity of the leads that you will actually end up capturing. So that's how you do it. That's how you go about it. If you want to save this audience for future use, you can, which I would recommend. Obviously, it will give you the summarization of the campaign or audience that you have targeted for this campaign and for future campaigns. If I want to save my audience name, which I always do when I do these, I'm going to save it as first time home buyers looking in Plano for this particular audience. And I'm going to save it. And then you would just continue with the ad. But that's where I'm going to stop this video. I hope that that will help you out in terms of defining your more specifically catered audiences. Obviously, it just varies. This is a good taste of how it works for now.
Mid-America Mortgage Incorporated, NMLS 15009, is an equal opportunity lender located at 14900 Landmark Boulevard, Suite 400, Dallas, Texas.